The wind howled through the empty city streets that night, carrying with it the sharp bite of winter and the muffled hum of distant traffic. Snow fell like silent tears, blanketing the world in white, hiding both beauty and pain beneath its icy calm. Inside a sleek black car parked near the corner of Maple Avenue, a man in a tailored coat tapped his fingers on the steering wheel, staring out into the cold. He was Daniel Carter, CEO of a multi-million-dollar company, the kind of man everyone envied, powerful, respected, and seemingly untouchable. Yet, in the back seat, his 6-year-old daughter Lily softly hummed to herself, her tiny face pressed against the frosty window as she watched the snowflakes fall. That night, fate had other plans. Just as Daniel reached for the gearshift, Lily gasped and pointed toward a dark alley near the streetlights. "Daddy," she whispered, her voice trembling, her baby is freezing." At first, Daniel thought his daughter was mistaken. But then he followed her gaze, and saw it. A young woman, barely in her 20s, sat huddled against a brick wall. Her thin coat was soaked with melting snow, her hair tangled, her lips pale. In her trembling arms, a baby no older than a few months whimpered weakly, wrapped in nothing but a tattered blanket. For a moment, time stood still. The CEO, the man who closed deals worth millions, who made decisions that changed lives, felt his heart twist in a way it hadn't since his wife died 3 years ago. Before we go further, if you believe in kindness, compassion, and second chances, please take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe to MJ Kindness Moments. Every click spreads warmth and hope in a cold world. Daniel pulled over without another word. The snow crunched beneath his shoes as he rushed to the woman. Her body shook uncontrollably, eyes wide with confusion and fear. She tried to speak but her lips were too cold to form words. The baby's tiny cry cracked through the silence like a plea to heaven itself. He didn't think twice. He lifted them both, the woman feather light, the baby even lighter, and carried them to his car. Lily quickly moved to the side, wrapping her small arms around the baby with a gentleness beyond her years. Daniel cranked up the heater, wrapping his own coat around the woman's shoulders. Her eyes fluttered open, glazed with exhaustion and disbelief. Thank you," she managed to whisper before collapsing in tears. That night, Daniel didn't drive home to his mansion on the hill. He drove to the nearest hospital. He didn't care who saw him, what the board of directors might say about the CEO showing up at midnight with a homeless woman and a freezing baby. He stayed until the doctors confirmed they would be okay, mild hypothermia, dehydration, but nothing that couldn't heal. The baby boy's heartbeat was strong. As Daniel stood in that fluorescent hospital hallway, something inside him stirred, something that had been buried for too long. Since losing his wife to a car accident, his life had become all about control. Work. Schedules. Efficiency. He built walls so high even his grief couldn't climb them. But now, staring at that fragile young mother clinging to her baby's hand, those walls began to crack. Her name was Emily. She had been working 2 jobs when life collapsed around her. An abusive partner, unpaid rent, and a final eviction notice had left her with nowhere to go. She had tried to survive, sleeping under bridges, skipping meals so her baby could eat. But the cold was stronger than her willpower. That night, she had simply given up, until Lily's innocent eyes spotted her in the snow. Days passed, and Daniel couldn't get her out of his mind. He sent his driver to check on her, to make sure she had everything she needed. But when the hospital released her, Emily refused his money. She said she didn't want charity, only a chance to start again. Her voice shook with pride and pain, and Daniel respected that more than anything. Still, he couldn't turn away. He arranged a temporary apartment for her, paid the rent anonymously, and had groceries delivered every week. But when Emily found out, she came to his office one afternoon, her baby bundled in her arms, determination in her tired eyes. "I can't take your money, Mr. Carter," she said softly. "But, if there's work I can do, I'll earn it." For a moment, the polished CEO forgot the formalities. He looked at her, really looked, and saw not weakness but courage. The kind of courage that reminded him of his late wife. So he hired her, not out of pity, but out of respect. Emily started working in the company cafeteria, helping serve meals, keeping things running smoothly. As weeks turned into months, Daniel saw her transform. The fear in her eyes faded, replaced by quiet strength. Lily adored her, often spending afternoons in the cafeteria after school, helping Emily set tables or playing peekaboo with baby Noah. Sometimes Daniel would watch from his office window, the sound of their laughter echoing down the hall, and for the first time in years, his home didn't feel so empty. But not everyone approved. Rumors began to swirl around the company, whispers that the CEO was too close to a homeless woman, that his judgment was compromised. The board demanded explanations. Daniel faced their questions with calm resolve. If kindness compromises my leadership, he said firmly, then perhaps we need to redefine leadership. Still, behind the confidence, he battled old fears. He wasn't sure if he was ready to care again, to open his heart. But fate, once again, decided for him. One night, Lily fell sick with a high fever while Daniel was stuck in a late meeting. He rushed home, guilt clawing at his chest. When he walked in, he found Emily sitting beside Lily's bed, gently cooling her forehead with a damp cloth while Noah slept in her lap. The tenderness in her eyes, the same care his wife once had, shattered the last of his defenses. He realized then that sometimes, the people who come into our lives by accident are sent by destiny. Emily hadn't just needed saving, she had been sent to save them too. From that night onward, their lives intertwined like threads woven by grace. Daniel offered her a permanent job, and over time, what began as gratitude blossomed into something deeper. They shared dinners, laughter, stories about loss and hope. He watched her grow into a confident, loving woman. And though neither dared speak it aloud at first, love quietly bloomed between them, not the wild, impulsive kind, but the slow, healing kind that mends broken hearts. Months later, on a chilly spring morning, Daniel took Lily and Emily to the same park where it all began, the street corner where Lily had first said those words. The city was alive with color now, the snow replaced by soft green grass and sunlight. Lily skipped ahead, holding baby Noah's hand as Daniel turned to Emily and said quietly, "That night, you thought I saved you. But the truth is, you saved me too." Emily's eyes filled with tears. "You gave me a life again, Daniel. I'll never forget that." He smiled, taking her hand. "We both know it wasn't me. It was her." He nodded toward Lily, who was laughing under a blooming cherry tree. She saw what I couldn't, the pain behind the darkness. The wind brushed gently through the trees, carrying the faint echo of laughter and the scent of new beginnings. It felt as though the world itself had turned a page. That night long ago had started with a cry for help, a baby freezing in the cold, and ended with a family reborn through kindness. It was proof that no act of compassion is ever wasted, that even in a world of brokenness, love can find its way home. So, if this story touched your heart, if you believe that kindness can change lives, please like, share, and subscribe to MJ Kindness Moments. Help spread these stories of hope so that more hearts can feel the warmth of humanity. And before we end, I have one special request for you. Comment below with the words, "Kindness can save lives." Let's fill the comments section with light, just as Lily did that snowy night when she said, "Daddy, her baby is freezing." Because sometimes, the smallest voice can spark the greatest miracle.